proposal, hypotheses, to produce, research a schizophrenic machine, smooth space, with electronic and digital circulation of disjunctions narratives in platforms online. Like, par exemple, Maurice Blanchot in The Writing of Disaster, with others terms indexed recombined. The disaster, unexperienced, an artificial device becomes an inseparable of a narrative. It is what escapes the very possibility of experience. It is the limit of writing. The disaster, cybernetic, describes, which does not mean that disaster, as the force of writing, is excluded from it, is beyond the pale real or virtual. Then, the fragmentary, smooth space promises not instability so much as disarray, confusion are. A chaosmology, cosmotechnics, and new ecology, or a cybernetic ecology of bodies. To the thought of disaster, schizophrenic machine, which disrupts as the intense, silent disastrous affirmation of the outside to horrors. The disaster does put smooth space into question, but annuls the question, makes it disappear, as if along with the question. In smooth space too disappeared in the disaster which never appears to become a body without organs, hypotheses. The fact of disappearing is, precisely, not a fact, not an event. It does not happen, electronic field, or only because there is no, to undergo the experience, cybernetic. But because since the disaster, body without organs, always takes place after having taken place, there cannot possibly be any experience of it, smooth space. It called disaster that which does not have the ultimate for a limit repetition, it bears the ultimate away in the disaster. Fitzgerald's affirmation remark, all life is a process of breaking down. The crack is the cranny with all identification of outside digital bodies. With that, their fragmenting force, destroy and advance the text's narrative. Disjunction from which they are not only severed but which they exalt till these disjunctions become nothing but severance, then the fragment without a text, grammar, or any context is radical unquotable to escape of control. There is disaster, crash, because, ceaselessly, it falls short of disaster, hypotheses. The end of nature, the end of culture, the end of humanism. The fragmentary, schizophrenic machine, the power of the disaster which none has experienced and the disastrous intensity, incommensurate with the repetition, the ultimate over and over. General collapse, destruction of the all sense of presence, ontology without being, disaster again. Knowledge electronic at rest, unsuitable terms but no matter. We, biotechnological bodies, can only let fragmentary writing write if language, having exhausted its power of negation, its force of affirmation, retains or sustains knowledge at slipping, hypotheses. This writing that is outside language, it is nothing else, perhaps, but the end, without end, of knowledge, the end of myths. The erosion of utopia, grief, incising,